Nice. Good. All right. So we're gonna go over how we do place. Both Athena and Dasher have been doing place for a while now, so I want to make sure that you fully understand how we teach the place bed from the beginning. So that way it is clear to you, like if you need to go back and touch up something, this is essentially how we started it. Okay? So when our dog is on the place bed, especially in the beginning stages, we really want to reinforce this heel position. So if you notice, I'm standing on this side, she is on my left because that is the heel position. And so when I want her to come off, I'm going to tell her free and we're going to go off the bed. Free! Okay? So what we want to do is we want to think of the place bed like the crate. The crate has 3 walls and 1 door. So we're going to go in and out through the door. So if you noticed, she went on through the short side here, she came off through the exact same side, okay? We don't want to make a habit of our dogs going on and just running straight through and running off the other side. So this way our dog gets in the habit of going on and turning around, essentially. And that's one, going to stop their momentum so they're not running off the back side of it. But also creating the habit of going on, turning around, and waiting. So the way we create this idea of go on the bed and wait there, essentially, so that way when we do like ascend to place, which your dogs both know very well, they're going to go there and wait for us to get there. So she knows the bed pretty well, so when we walk towards it, she's going to go up, and then I'm going to go to the heel position. I'm going to mark at this point when she gets on the bed, but I'm not going to give her her reward until I'm in the heel position. Once I'm in the heel position, I'm going to put the food on the bed. Okay, so I'm going to demonstrate right now. We're going to walk towards the bed. I'm not even going to say the command. She's just going to get up there. I'm going to mark when all 4 feet are on the bed. I get to the heel position, then I put the food down. So something that is unique to your dogs or specific about Athena and Dasher is that they are both very active learners, meaning they take the initiative, right? They want to push forward in the learning process. They don't really want to slow things down. They don't want to do things calmly. They don't want to wait. They're like, hurry up, let's go, give me my treat, let's get out the door, let's go do the thing, right? They're constantly very kind of pushy. And so what we want to do is, first of all, we don't want to reinforce that. So when we go up there and we reward, we want to take our time. So we're not going to rush to get into the heel position. We're not going to rush to get the food down there, anything like that. Really take our time. The other thing with her specifically is when we're putting the food down and I'm placing my hand, I'm bringing my hand all the way down to the bed before letting it go. I'm not just going to drop it on the bed. I'm going to bring my hand all the way down. But specifically with her, when I bring my hand down, she starts to like nose my hand, like get your hand out of the way so I can eat the food that's in it. And so I do not like that. I do not like it when dogs try to push me around. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to be really stubborn, and I'm just going to wait until she stops doing that. So we're going to do our next rep, and I'm going to kind of demonstrate what that is going to look like. Free! So we're going to come off the bed. We're going to go back on. Click. Heel position. I'm taking my sweet time. She is very excited about the food coming down. Good. So that we've been practicing this. So that time she didn't try to like nose my hand because she knows that gets her nothing. Free. The only way she gets me to let go of the food is by waiting patiently. I didn't really need to click again, but okay. Free. We always make mistakes in dog training. The important thing is to just continue moving forward. Don't let a little mistake really make you lose your roll. But you can see as I bring my hand down, like she wants to nose at my hand. And so I'm just going to wait until she stops or she really dedicates to not doing that, essentially. Free. Now we've heavily reinforced going into that down position on the bed. So the way that we did that is that when she goes up there, I just wait to mark with my clicker until she's in the down position. So on the next one, that's what we're going to do. Free. So what we can do, if you notice, I haven't really told her her place command. So in the early days, in the early stages of learning any behavior, we don't name the behavior. We don't tell our dogs the command until they're doing it already and they're doing it really well, just the way we like it. So for her, right, and especially for Dasher as well, I want them going to the bed and laying down. If that's the picture I want, I'm going to wait until I see that before I start to tell her the command. Now that she's doing it, right, you've seen her go up there, she goes, she lays down, I mark, I reward. Now I can start to name the behavior because she's doing it very proficiently and very predictably, okay? So once the behavior is at least like 90% of the way there, right, where we're doing it accurately 9 out of 10 times, now we can start to name the behavior. So we're going to do it on the next rep, and now we're going to name it right before she's about to do it. So I'm going to tell her, free. We're going to come off. We're going to do our next rep. Place. Good. Once those elbows hit the place bed, I'm going to mark and reward. Free. Place. Good. Free. Place. Free. Place. Now, if you notice, I'm starting to say, I clicked a little early. I'm starting to say the place command a little bit earlier, right? So initially, she was going up there automatically, right? And for like dogs newer in the training process, we say this right as they're about to do it anyway. So I'd wait until right before that first foot hits the bed. Now what we're doing is we're taking it and we're saying the word before we start to move towards the bed. So essentially, the word is going to predict the actions that lead to the bed. So when we come off, I'm going to say the word, then I'm going to move towards the bed, okay? So I'm going to say, free. When we come off, I'm going to say, place. Then we move towards the bed. Good. Now, if you notice, I clicked when all 4 paws are on the bed, right? Not a big deal. I can still kind of wait to put the food down until she lays down, right? So that means I'm still holding out until she's in that down position on the bed, okay? We're going to do that one again. This time I'm going to wait until she's all the way in that down position to reward. Free! Place! Good girl. Yeah. Now, something I want you to also pay attention to when you're practicing at home is making sure we're doing everything one thing at a time. So if I'm going to say the word free, I'm going to say free. Then I'm going to step with my foot, my left foot first. So I'm going to say free, step, place, turn, click, then feed, right? This is probably the most important thing and the hardest thing to really practice. It sounds so simple. It sounds so minute, but it is extremely important because it allows our dogs to learn, right? So our dogs really struggle if we're making noise or auditory cues like commands or words at the same time that we're moving and they're watching us move, right? She's paying attention to what my hands are doing. If the hands go into the pouch, she's watching that. If my feet are moving, she's watching that, right? So it's hard for our dogs to pay attention to both things that are moving and what's coming out of our mouth at the same time. So we might want to make sure we go free, then step, okay? Place, then move. Click, then feed, okay? So the clicker can work in one of 2 ways, right? I can either have it send my hand to the pouch, because she knows that that's where the food is. So my hand's here, the click sends my hand to the pouch. So my hand can't start moving before the clicker happens, right? So the clicker moves my hand to the pouch. The other way it works is that I have food in my hand, and my hand is stationary, and then the click brings the food to the bed. Whatever option you do, just make sure that when you click, your hand is not moving. Like you can even have your hand like here and go click and then feed. And then feed. Okay? So this is something really simple you can practice at home. You can do it with just separate that one thing if you want. Take a bowl full of food and just sit there and go click, hand in the bowl of food, feed. Click, hand goes in the food and feed. Click, feed, right? Or you can have a whole bunch of food in your hand and really just go click, feed. Click, feed. Click, feed. Click, feed. Okay? This is what we call deep practice. And honestly, this is going to be one of the most important things that's going to help your dogs learn throughout their entire lives. Your ability to pinpoint behaviors that you like from your dogs allows your dog to learn much faster when they've done the right thing versus when they've done the wrong thing. All right? Okay, so we want to show our dogs how to do a place stay. So when I want my dog to leave the bed, we're saying our release word. Our release word is free. Now free means they can come off the bed. Place. So once I've told my dog the word place, they should stay on the bed until told otherwise. So if I say place, my dog should stay on the bed until they either hear their release word or another command like heel. If I said heel and I start walking forward, she should walk forward with me. But if I say place, she should stay on the bed. If I say free, free means she's allowed to come off the bed, but it doesn't necessarily mean she has to. So sometimes my dogs go up on the bed and I tell them free and they're like, okay. And they just stay there, which is fine. If I really need my dog to come off the bed, I can either use a heel command, which is preferred, or less preferred would be a recall command. I don't like to recall my dog off the bed though. So when I tell my dog place, they should stay on the place bed until told otherwise, okay? So this means we don't say stay. If I say place, you should stay on the place bed. I shouldn't have to also tell you stay. Okay? So when I say place, place means stay there until I tell you come off. So we want our dogs to learn how to stay in this behavior, whether it's place or a down or a sit or whatever, through 3 of our challenges. The first challenge is duration. She's doing a good job. I'm yapping on here and she's able to stay on that place bed while I yammer on about what we're doing, right? So duration is just how long can my dog stay up there, okay? Now the other way we're going to measure this, because I could keep my dog up there by just going place, place, place. And that is how I start to create duration in the beginning, but it's not the true test of duration. Duration is how long can my dog stay up there between rewards. So my dog can stay up there and I can talk, or you like you've seen in the videos on our Instagram where I put her on the place bed and I make breakfast. You know, it takes me like 15 minutes to make my breakfast, another like 5 to 10 minutes to eat my breakfast. So she's able to stay up there that whole time, right? Now, I do occasionally go and reward her still, which is great. But our ability to stay on the place bed through duration is what's important. We have to have some level of duration before we start to ask for distance, right? Because it takes duration, it takes time for us to move away from the bed. So once my dog is able to stay up there for a good amount of time, I can mark and I can reward. Now I'm going to tell her place, meaning stay up on that place bed, because I'm about to move. Now, we've done a lot of repetitions of she goes in the bed. When I move away, she comes with me, right? Now, I'm going to move away and I expect her to stay there when I move. But before I move, I have to tell her what I want her to do. So if I want her to come with me, I would tell her free or I'd tell her heel, and then I would move. If I want her to stay there, I'm going to tell her place, and then I'm going to move. But regardless, I have to tell her before I move. So again, going back to the idea of saying what we need to say or doing what we need to do, one thing at a time. So I'm going to say the word place before I start to step away, okay? So I'm going to say place. And when I want my dog to stay there, I'm going to step with my right foot first. So when I want my dog to come off with me, we're going to use our left foot to go forward. And when I leave the bed, my dog will have left with me, right? Left with me. That's the easy way to remember. When I want my dog to go with me, my dog will have left with me. If I want my dog to stay there, I want my dog to stay right there. If that helps you remember, I'm glad. So we're going to tell our dog place. I'm going to start with my right foot. I'm going to start to step in front of the bed. So I'm going to say place. I'm going to move my right foot slightly, come back to the side, mark, and reward. So again, every little thing has its own moment. I'm going to say place, step with my right foot first, go back to the side, mark, and reward. Place, step, return, mark, reward. Okay? Remember, every little thing happens one at a time. Place, step, return, mark, reward. Now, what I am doing with my right foot is I'm slowly building up to where I'm going to stand in front of her. So I'm going to say place. I'm going to step a little bit further out in front of her like this. I'm going to go back to her side. And this is how we started our place stay with adding distance. Place, I start to move over here, go back to this side. Place. So this is going to be our starting point for moving away from our dog, okay? This is how we begin to add distance. Now, when we do move away from our dog, where we're no longer directly in front of the bed, we're going to do it kind of slowly. Place. And when I return, I'm just going to go straight to the side. I don't have to come back to this front position. I can go from here and I can just go straight over to the heel position. And nothing good happens until I'm here. So I'm not going to reward her from the front position. Place. Step out with my right foot first. So nothing good happens out in front of her. Nothing good happens here. I don't come running up and giving her rewards. None of that. Everything good happens once I am back in this position. Place. Step with my right foot first. Turn and face her. And then from here, I can start to back away. Now, like I said, we've been doing this with her for quite a while. So she's like, oh, I get this. We haven't done it out here. But every time we do it in a new location, we do take a few steps back in what we can do. So like I said, in my kitchen, she can sit on this thing all day, right? She's done that a whole bunch of times. In the yard, she's done that quite a bit as well. Maybe not as much as inside. And then out here, this is the first time we're doing it. So taking it back a couple steps, anytime she's doing it in a new place, is going to help her really understand that the same rules apply. And the more places we do this, the more generalized the concept will be. So then every time you do it in a new place, it's a lot easier for her to understand, oh, everything is exactly the same, essentially, okay? But anytime this picture changes, when it's a new person on the end of the leash, so when you're doing it at home for the first time, or if you have someone else do it, or if you have a friend come over and they do it, or you do it in a different place, or there's different noises happening, or, you know, there's new distractions going on. Every time you do that, it's going to be a little bit more challenging for her, right? But the more we change that picture and tell her that even in a different picture, the rules stay the same, the more concrete this idea is going to be in her head, okay? So, when I want her to stay there, before I leave, I remind her place, right? The reason why we do that, even though I told her place originally when she got on there, is that I've been standing here and I've been yammering on for a while. So maybe she forgot. What was the last thing that Miss Ashley told me? I can't remember. So I'm going to say, hey, I'm about to move away. Place is what I want you to do when I leave. So I tell her place. That's what I want you to do when I step. So when I do step, it's fresh in her mind. And then I can back away. Okay? Now, when we start to add the third D, right? So we talked about duration. We've added our distance. The third D is the distractions, right? So we can be distractions, you know, when I'm cooking in the kitchen, the smell of my, breakfast might be a distraction, me moving around and, washing the dishes and walking around the space and playing music and dancing and doing all sorts of crazy stuff. And, we can have those types of distractions. We can also deliberately create distractions, right? So the reason why we do this is because once we go out and use this skill or any of the other skills like heel or down or sit out in the real world, distractions are going to happen, but we might not be ready for them, right? So what we do is we deliberately and intentionally create distractions in training up to and ideally beyond what we'll expect to see out in the real world. So if I expect to see people running around and moving around while we're doing training out in the real world, then I'm going to try to practice for that in a controlled environment. That's why we have our training group here, our training club. We got a whole bunch of people who can get together and simulate those types of distractions in a controlled way. So if you just need them to just exist and just stand there and not move, they can do that. You can't ask people at Lowe's to just stand like a mannequin. It's not realistic, right? But you can do it in a training group like we have, right? And that's what the training club is for. So if you're like, okay, she's doing really good with people just not moving. Now, if you guys want to kind of just shift around a little bit, that's fine. Or maybe you want them to start walking around while you're healing or she's on her place bed. Or maybe you want them to start doing crazy stuff, right? Above and beyond what you might see out in the wild, right? So you might go to Lowe's and see people walking up and down the aisles and checking the prices on stuff. But man, she's ready to see people doing cartwheels and somersaults and popping balloons and screaming and yelling and running around. If she can do that, she's got an ace going to Lowe's. So this is just a very foundational understanding of how we improve our dog's training to an advanced level. We start with this foundational, concrete, basic understanding of the behavior, right? Where my dog fully understands that once I say the word place and I step away with my right foot, absolutely nothing good happens until I return back to that heel position. So there is no reason for her to come off this place bed and go chase the birds or go chase the cars or go bark at the neighbors or anything like that, because nothing good happens until I come back to here. All right. So this is going to be super important to practice on the place bed because the place bed is the easiest place to do it. Just checking the temperature of the pavement. So the reason why it's really important to practice this with the place bed is because our dog can be very successful here. It's very easy. The other behaviors that we do stays, including our down stay and our sit stay, are not as easy. The down stay is a little bit more difficult, but not as difficult as the sit stay. The sit stay is the hardest. So we start with the place stay because it allows our dog to be the most successful most easily. It allows us to have deep practice and repetitions of place, step, turn, face our dog, back away, come back to the side, pause, click, reward. Because what's going to happen is when we start to do this with our down stay, right now she's in a down, right? I've been rewarding this behavior. Guess what? Imagine, if you will, the bed is not there and she's in a down. You know what the down stay is going to look like? Down. It's going to look exactly the same. Not only is it going to look exactly the same for us, it's also going to look exactly the same for her. And so once she's done this on the place bed and in the down stay, then we do it in the sit stay. Guess what? Imagine she's in a sit right now and the place bed's not there. It'll be sit. It's going to look also exactly the same. So this really sets our dogs up for being successful through all of the stay commands, our down stay, our play stay, and our sit stay. So we're going to end it there. Thank you for listening to my TED Talk. My delivery driver is here, and we're going to put her away. I'll see you later. Free. Good girl.